So good morning. How's the coffee? No, it has to be good. So if you don't have coffee, no worries. I will try to keep you up. So the problem, a short introduction. Why are you making the beer so cheap here in Poland? I'm already regretting the decision I took yesterday with Mark. We went out for some beers. Was surprised how cheap it was. And after that, all was quite a blur. So I'm looking forward to the party tonight. So what I normally do before I get started, I want to know who I'm talking to. So it is going to be a little bit interactive, but don't worry, all you have to do is raise your hand or sometimes ask a question or laugh, that's fine, or cry, that's not fine. So raise your hand if you're a developer. Cool. Any designers out there? My kind of people. Any managers? Look at them, look at them.
It's us.
Hey, not really. Marketing guys or girls? One at the back. Stay at the back. No, I'm just kidding. Or not. So let me introduce myself. My name is Wiebe. It's a difficult name, so don't try to pronounce it. Just call me Mr. Moustache. It's a little bit of a trademark. Or a wanker, that's fine as well. Stop laughing, Mark. What am I exactly? I'm a developer, but I have a passion for design, especially for usability stuff. And I'm a GDE, so that's a Google Developer Expert for Android. That doesn't mean I get paid by Google. I don't mind, because I can still talk dirty about Google. But it's cool because Google sends me off into the world to talk about my passion, and that's UX. Basically, what I do all day is think how we can make things better, easy to understand, and get more coffee. I have to warn you, there's going to be some bad UX, so if you are allergic, I'm sorry. Normally I do a lot of talks about Android, but there are some iOS examples in there because I think it's 50-50. So show me your hands if you only do iOS. Android? Both? Cool, mixed. It's not all about bashing, so I'll explain a little bit about what bad UX is and hopefully show you some good examples about UX, and I have a example in the end. It's a Polish app I redesigned. So if the maker of that app is here, I'm sorry. You're gonna get screwed. So everybody knows this app, right? It's Twitter. Really cool, and you're scrolling. I'm not really popular on Twitter, but hey. And all of a sudden this happens. It will ask you, hey, do you want to rate me? Rate me. Of course not. It's annoying. It's right in your face. I just want to scroll, see how my friends are doing, how my wife is doing. And all of a sudden I get to ask a really stupid question. Do you want to rate me? Most of the people will say either no or really bad rating because it's in your face. And this is basically an example of what bad UX is. Nothing more, nothing less. So the last two talks that were here were a lot about what the definition is. So it's a long text, don't bother to read it all. But UX is basically having the experience of you having with the device you're holding or having in front of you. So just shout, please. Do you see any keywords that might be interesting to discuss? If not, then it's a really short talk. So UX is probably about people. We program our apps, our TV, everything we do is for users. And it's really, oh, nice marketing stuff. No, it's actually you and me. We're actually the best users for an app. Is it iOS or Android? Doesn't matter. We use our app on a day-to-day basis. Actually, we are quite too much occupied with our mobile phone. So your app has to be really good to be used every day. And it's not only our day-to-day basis. No, it's actually when you want to share something with your spouse. Or even worse, some really good moment. We still use our app for that. So we have to focus on people. This is why we make our apps. And there are some other, probably some good keywords in there that might be handy to know. Come on, I'm partially deaf, so I have to shout. You win a biscuit again. Woohoo! Do we have prizes to give away besides my biscuits? Oh, the prizes were gone. I don't know why. Yeah, it has to be easy and pleasant to use. There was a lot of discussion about like performance matters, the app should be quick, the content should be good. Yeah, so you have a really fast, crappy app still. No, it doesn't always have to be about performance. It has to be about the experience the user has with your app or with your smart TV application. If he doesn't feel like it's a fun and pleasant experience to have, he will not use it. So in this talk, what I normally do, I'm not telling you how to enhance your user experience. I'm just giving out some pointers, some recipes of what not to do and what you can do or have to focus on. So if you're here and you're writing notes, if I do this, I will be a success. I'm sorry, that doesn't work like that. So first, the first question we have to ask ourselves, for who? For who are we making our app? If it's up to developers, we get these kinds of like cool apps. For every option, there's a button or a switch or some sort of setting. Hey, but if it's up to the managers, we get this. It is cool, really cool looking. You can do so much, but I don't know still how to use it. No, we have to target the important user for us. So we have to know who's actually using our app. If we don't know who are we building it for, why are we building it? We don't know what they want. But don't overdo it. So I am a father, I have a young son, and I was surprised, he's 2.5, so I'm trying to withhold him of all the new technology in there, but he already knows how to swipe. So when I was changing his diaper, I used to wear a smartwatch. He was already swiping while I was changing his diaper. I'm not telling you you should focus on building for that target audience unless you create a game, but think of the user your app is targeting. If I make an app that is for elderly people, don't add too much swiping or hidden secrets in there. They probably will not use it. That's one of the struggles, like say for Facebook, they want like the most broad audience is there, so they have to take in consideration all the different kind of user types there are. But we're in a mobile conference, so let me give you some examples of some bad UX when it comes to for who. So this is an app that's supposed to prevent you from knowing where sex offenders are, but as iOS, they want to share the you need to ask for sharing location. It's probably not a good idea if you put it like this. This is an actual app that's in the store. Do I want to know, do I want to share my location with sex offenders? Probably not. Also, do you know this product, right? It's an Apple Watch. So it is a cool device, don't get me wrong, but there's a little tiny problem. So, who can spot it? Sorry, come on, speak up. Navigation. Why? Why do you think navigation sucks? Okay, tiny icons, that's interesting. Somebody should take notes and send it to Apple. No. So when it was first introduced, they did an assumption that everybody is wearing their wristwatch on their left arm. So what happens if you wear it on the other arm? Talking about navigation screw-ups. This is actually, and it becomes even more awkward because how Apple resolved this on their second batch is when you install the software, it will ask, are you wearing it on your left or on your right? Why? It's still screwing you over with the crown thing. So the other thing is, we see a lot of apps. Well, currently it's okay, but there were a lot of apps that have these kinds of problems. So this is do you know Trivago? Yeah. Is it popular here in Poland? Yeah, kind of. So what's the problem with this one? It is? So much, exactly. Hey, we got a prize. What they did is they ported their website into a mobile app, thinking, oh, everybody should understand it. No. So for who are they building it? Not for the mobile users, maybe for web users. So they did a lot of cluttering of information on the screen. Again, bad UX. And this is what happens. You have so much information, you have to actually focus. It is a smaller device than on your desktop. Take that in consideration for who you're building it with. If you have an app that's running on a smart TV, it's going to be fine, but then you have problems with navigation. So, to sum up this, for who, you have to do some research on your users' apps. So who are you building your app for? What kind of type is it? Is it somebody that's really technically well skilled? Is it my mother that doesn't really understand like the whole mobile revolution? Or is it my kid that thinks everything should be swipeable? Also, read those app reviews. A lot of people complain about your app in either the store or Play on what's wrong with your app. Read them. I'm not saying everything is good because there are a lot of bullshit in there, but there might be some valid points on how to improve your user experience. It's a direct message from your user. So, what? Let me take a sip. So as the keynote speaker, I also like taking photographs of bad user experience in this case. So I came across this advertisement. What do you think I was buying? Headphones, aquarium. It is actually an aquarium. But can you, I don't know who thought of this one, but it is really mental. So I buy an aquarium, and it's the smallest item on the box, and there's like a cloud thingy here, and then a female with a headphones. Is the fish thinking of like a cute blonde who listens to music? Why is the lady in there? Is it soothing to have an aquarium? No, probably not. Does it make a lot of noise? Why is she wearing a headset? This is not sending out the right message for you. So know what your app should tell you, should give you the option. It should be clear. Another way. So I was buying a washing machine, and this is actually a photo I took as well. So can somebody explain me the difference between normal and normal? I think there is a normal plus in there as well, right? Oh, minus. Oh, there's even a minus. No, on top there's a normal as well. So you have a normal, there's a normal over there, a normal over there. Come on. So the only thing I can do is either do my washing in a weird way or in a normal way. Or slightly normal, that's a normal minus. Not really well thought out. And it is an actual example. But to give you a more realistic idea, I was in Tunisia at the Hagia Sophia. It was like a really good, it's not is it a mosque? No, it's no. Oh, you don't know. So I was enjoying I was enjoying a cathedral. It is a cathedral. And it was really quiet, and all of a sudden a bus with, I think it was Korean people, came up. They took a lot of pictures and they were gone. But I saw this device. Do you know what it is? Yeah. I don't know if I'm worried that you know it's a selfie stick. But it's okay. Everybody has their own taste in taking pictures. But what it got me thinking is, one of our clients, we needed to make a application that takes pictures and sets some moods, but we didn't take in consideration that not all mobile phones or users use their mobile phone with just one camera position. So not the back, but you can also use the front. And we didn't take that in consideration. So that might be a little bit different as a user experience to assume that only one camera is working. And this one. So what does the app do? It can help you find something really cool. Is it an iOS app? Is it an Android app? I don't know. But okay, it's a cool app to find stuff. Now, can somebody explain me, please, how to find the app? There's no name. I still don't know. I guess it's an iPhone because of the round home button. Okay. But if I go into iTunes, what do I search for? Help me find stuff? So, sorry, marketing guy, this is really a bad marketing campaign. You advertise that your app is so cool that it can find stuff, but finding it? But again, let me share some. There are actually some mobile examples as well. So this is the app for daycare of my son, and it has a contact page. Woohoo! And it doesn't work. There's no information. So if there's no information, don't share it. It only confuses people. If there's the aquarium and the female, it's got nothing to do with the message you want to send. So skip it or apply the info. A good example is to test if your app is cool. So these are really interesting apps that are kiddie playing games. The challenge with this is it has to be as simple as possible because a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year-old has to do it. So it doesn't have any ads because it's flashing, it's taking the distraction off, but it still needs to do the thing it has to do. In this case, catch bananas. So this is a good example of less is more. And this is a app when you can scan a barcode and you know the device so you can order it. So what's wrong with this one? Besides being an iPhone. Sorry. No, okay. Let me rephrase that. We as developers overthink things because we are technically based. So what a normal scanner looks like, and probably you have them in Poland, it's like a short gun, and you point at it, and it clicks, and then you have the information. But what did they decide? No, you have to take a picture, it analyzes, and then it gives you the information. That doesn't sound like a real solution. That's more like a technical solution to getting information of a barcode. So my advice for this company was, don't try to make a photo, just have the scanner in there, point at it, and it should get the information. It seems more logical. This is like this is how scanners work. So to solve this problem, try to make prototypes, do some sketches. There's an interesting talk in the afternoon. At what time? Or tomorrow, right? I hope you get into prototyping stuff and figuring out how stuff work. But it's really important to make your prototype without actually writing some code, by the way. So just draw, ask somebody, and try to explore if the message your app is, or the feature your app is having, is clear to users. Think like humans. It sounds silly, but right with the scanner example, a scanner is a scanner. It's not taking a picture and analyzing stuff. That's a technical solution. So stop what you're doing, step back, and think of what the app should be doing, should be solving. And less is more. It sounds so much easier. It sounds easy, but it's really hard. So making things simple without too much clutter is really hard. But the less you do, the more obvious it is to users on what the app should be doing. Okay, so the other question we should be asking ourselves is why? Is it clear enough? So I always do some silly charts. Forget it. It's the only thing I have to say about this one is people are really happy when you solve an actual problem. If it's just one of the 1,000 apps that can order stuff, fine. But if it can give you a further discount of more information about a purchase you did with some new suggestions, hey, you tried to buy a television, but if you take this one, it's cheaper and it still has the same specs. That's the added value for an app. That's how to make people happy, your users happy. So a good example. So I'm old. I'm used to this. Do you know what it is? Don't laugh because I had somebody who didn't know what it was. It's a typewriter. Woohoo! And the cool thing is, it's really one-on-one. I hit a key, I get a letter, and that's it. No clutter, it's really easy. I type, I get what I want, I screw up, then I start all over again. And then we have this, Word. There's so many stuff we can do with Word. But just typing, there's so many distractions. There's really, who cares if I can do some cool word art? If I use Word, I will probably type. Maybe autocorrect, but that's it. That's like 80% of what Word is used for. So I was talking to somebody who writes blogs, and he said, well, I find it really hard. When I type, I'm used to the typewriter. There was no distraction. I didn't have any calls, but when I use my laptop, I get emails all the time, and I just want to focus on my article. But I found some really cool device that can actually do this. So this is like the distraction-free writing tool. He actually bought it. It's more expensive than an iPad. And what it does, it turns down the Wi-Fi, and you have like a single display that can only type, and you see what you want to see without distractions. So no pings from your mobile phone, whatever. Again, cool, but it completely oversees the most simple solutions out there. I don't know if you can see the color. It's the no flight. If I use my iPad or my mobile phone and I'm writing stuff, or I use my Pixel, I can just turn down. If I go into flight mode, I can still write without distraction. So we overcomplicate stuff while it isn't really necessary. And this is what you see with a lot of apps, because they have so many features. Oh, somebody, thank you. There are so many features that managers want to get in there because it's so handy. We can only do this, but we can also do that. How cool is that? And all of a sudden, you have like an app that's too huge, too much information, and it doesn't solve the actual problem. So, example, you have like, you want to buy a train ticket, you can do that with your mobile app, or at least in Holland you can. But then you have, you can also look at the train schedules, you know the nearest restaurant. Who cares? I only want to buy a ticket and go on the train. Instagram is a good example of adding more value like this, or making stuff simple. I must confess, I'm not really a good photographer. So when I used to make photos with my mobile phone, most of the time they look really crappy. I must confess. And then this is one of the key elements Instagram was trying to solve. So what did they do? They still have the camera, you can still take the photo, and then you have an awesome option of adding a filter and then share it. Well, so what's cool about that? So what does it solve? Trust me, when you have a photo that's crappy and you apply Sepultura or the other filter, all of a sudden you're like the most awesome photographer out there. And that was their philosophy. It is a simple solution. Add a filter and everything looks cool. And now look at them. They're really a big success. And then their Facebook. But let me give you some mobile examples. This is a Polish app. Yeah. Do you know what it's called? Yeah. Oh, everybody's using it. So I was in Warsaw, and I was trying to figure out, which train to take. And I thought I found the right train, and I wanted to close the app. So Android developers out there. So what happens if, so this is the first screen, what happens if I press back? Come on. Sorry, louder. What happens? You close the app. Exactly. You would think so, right? No. Oh. It says, are you really sure that you want to close the app? Why? Am I too dumb that I suddenly click on buttons that I'm not supposed to? Probably not. This is really annoying. This blocks my user experience. I know what I'm doing. I'm not dumb. Maybe I'm old and I don't know exactly, but I'm not dumb. And I know that button because every app in the Android ecosystem, when I press back, I either go back or outside of the app. Well, officially you go into the back, but the app is going into the back, but it's fine. I know what to do. So don't block me when I click on a button that I'm supposed to leave. Do you know how this is rated, by the way? I don't. It's, I think, around 3 or 4 now, right? So, photos. Android. Woohoo! All of a sudden, with a new release, they came like the tabs we see on iOS devices. Cool, we have 2 platforms that basically has the same pattern. You would think this is a good thing. I must agree, it is nice, but there's one tiny little problem. So if I want to switch from those 3 tabs, it's easy because I'm using my mobile watch, my mobile phone, and my thumb is in there. But we researched what is the pattern people use photos for. And what they see is this is the pattern you normally follow. So you start at the top because there's a title, then you go down, you click on something, and then you go to the pictures, especially when you switch a lot. Well, considering with a large phone, I have the Nexus 6, I have to switch my thumb, like bend it out of shape to get it across. So although it is a cool pattern, it is not really well thought out from a user navigation point of view. And Google should have known this. They do a lot of research. They monitor a lot of users. They actually have like a test center where they videotape people doing, and they watch their iris movement. So they should have known this is like. So why? I still don't know. I asked them, and the only answer is, well, then iOS and Android looks a little bit the same. So, to sum up, you have to focus on the goal. If you sell tickets, do that. Don't do a lot of marketing stuff like give the option to also add vouchers or shirts in your restaurant. Your focus is selling tickets. Focus on that one. Adopt. There are a lot of standard patterns you can use. There's a lot of documentation, either by Android with the material design stuff. There's a lot of patterns, or iOS. iOS has always been good with documentation. They mostly are well thought out. There are a lot of people actually participating in writing those documents and doing the research. So learn from them. So the last thing we have to discuss is enhancement. Because we have an app, we still want to do this tiny add-ons without losing the focus of the app, but going from a good app to an awesome app. So a good example is these kinds of things. So when you fly, you normally see the, oh my God, we're flying, it's going to be dead, all is fine. So what's the problem with this? Should I make it like a cool video, like Delta is doing? Is it enhancing the experience? I don't know. I truly don't know. It is simple to do. It doesn't have to be so much information. And from my personal point of view, I don't like the stuff that is full in your face, because if I do a flight of 2 hours, I am staring at the procedure on not to die the whole flight. By the way, did you know it's not allowed to wear high heels in case of an emergency? I didn't know that. I don't know what it's added, but hey. Or, how do you call that? Fake teeth? So I was in San Francisco during the I.O., and there's a hotel, and there was a fire center room. Not really appealing, but to explain, this is like a room where somebody sits when they're in case of fire. He runs out and say, okay, no, there's no problem, there's no issue, just go to the exit and everything is fine. And if there's like, if they close rooms, there's the guy that has a portaphone and he can control the whole hotel or the whole personality. But it wasn't really, people weren't taking it seriously. So what would be a good enhancement for this? To make it like awesome, to make it whoa. And there's a spoiler in there, but they renamed it Fire Control Center. Wow. Instead of a room, it's now a center. It's still the crappy device. It is a stupid example, but it shows you with just the minimum amount of effort, you can change the feel and the look completely and the experience. And also, what we see the last couple of, the last month, the last year is whenever material design came out, and they introduced meaningful motion. And iOS ditched that because they want to have more like a flat and normal design, and all of a sudden the other party is doing meaningful motion. I don't hate meaningful motion as long as you don't overdo it. So sometimes motion can add to the experience because it's telling you something. So let me give you some mobile examples. You know this app? Can you order Uber here in Poland? Yeah, hey. So let me share my annoyance with this one. So it's a loading thing. It's 2 o'clock at night. I just got back from Poland. I step out of the terminal. I want to order an Uber. I'm completely dead because the beer is so cheap here. And then I have to wait for the fancy loading stuff. This is freaking annoying. So I asked one of my friends who works at Uber, say, well, why did you add that? He said, yeah, we do a lot of stuff in the background. We load data, and then we have to plot out a map and search for the vehicles. So I said to him, well, fine, I can understand that, but why don't you just show the map and then the points are added while you wait? Don't block the user with annoying animation. No, be straight. Show the map, and he will see things are loading. A good example of good, meaningful motion is Dropbox. So when you sign in for the first time, it is a little bit tedious because you have to fill in some necessary items, and then it has to sync. But you can add motion. It is a fun and happy experience instead of like normal static stuff that's happening. But it doesn't block. So actually I can still run through the registration without waiting. But in the meantime, I get this like cute animation. So it's not blocking, but it's still cute. And you know this app, especially the managers. Woohoo! LinkedIn, my favorite, not. So they added like some cool animations. So what you can do, you can swipe through the cards. What's happening today? So what kind of problems do we see here? Let me give you a hint. There's only 5 cards. No, really. So after 5, what I'm expecting, as let's say I have a normal pieces of paper, if I move 5, I end up at the bottom of the pile. There's no more. No, but LinkedIn is, wow, we have such a cool animation. Let's repeat it all the time. So after 5, I will begin at 1. Yay! Doesn't add anything. Well, it annoys me, and I don't get annoyed often, but hey. So if you suggest to your user, if you add something with animation, at least make it worthwhile. To give you an example of cool animation, I don't know, did I have it here? No, damn it. That was the problem with the beer. So I added this late last night. So I will do a visual now. So this is an app, and it's only iOS, that you can see recipes of a drink. So if I want to make a martini, there are some liquids to go there. There's a different kind of setting. So it is a part lemon juice, part, is it vodka? Well, I don't drink martini, but. And you can swipe through the different kind of drinks. And while you were swiping, you can see the glass shake. Because if I move a glass, the water or the liquid doesn't stay equal. No, it shakes a bit. So this animation is really cool. It gives you the idea I'm swiping the glasses away. This is something really small, but it actually does help make the app really nice feel. And without much effort. So, if you do add animation, which is really cool, don't overdo it. Don't make it too fast or too slow. If you need to wait for a long time to actually get it done, it will get annoying. But if it's too fast, it doesn't add anything. And now the cool thing. So, let me some history lesson. So I was in Poland, I think it was 2 years ago. There was another conference, and the first day there was like a workshop, and the second day there was the conference day where all the talks were. And during the workshop, somebody came up to me and says, well, I have a big problem. My app, it does have some cool ratings, but I don't feel like it's really good. Can you look at it? And I looked at it, and I got this one. You know this app? Good. No, it's actually a 4-star rated app that shows you news from Poland. During this case, there might be some Polish word that I nicked off the internet, so don't bitch about like the translation, so I'm sorry. When I'm not in Poland and when giving this case, everybody claps, so probably you say, it's not right. So you click on Interia. Do I say it correctly? Oh, okay. Now the fun starts. Now we're going to bash the speaker. I click on it, and it goes into like a detail of all the news from that source. And I can click on a news item. Why is it? Oh, my animation isn't working correctly. And I see the detailed information. Right. Not really a sexy app though, right? And it's a 4-star in Google Play. A 4-star. So he was thinking, well, how can I prove that? Should I do some minor tweaks? I said, no, you need to stop what you're doing. So I challenged myself. Within an hour, I wanted to redesign his app without too much hassle to show him some options he may need to take in consideration to at least get his app a little bit more popular than it was. So this is the detail screen. So prior to that, first you click on your news source, Interia, don't get me started again, and then you see this one. No, you can just have one screen. Why? because just a little thing. It's a spinner. You can select your news source because in research, when you read a news source, people stick to one. If you're interested in either the main news or for sports, or you will not switch as much. So don't block the user with either choosing the first option. Just give him one option. And if he switched, remember that option. The second thing is you see a lot of information on this screen. People aren't really reading this. They are just skimming through the articles and say, hey, this is something I'm really interesting. So if you add a more structured and more wide-spaced room, it's much easier for the eye. People can scroll much faster. They will still make their options. Third, adopt your style to the latest pattern. So this is material design, because people know that. It's not a web app. No, it's actually an Android app. And he challenged, so I had a previous slide without this, and he said, well, I still want to do branding. I said, well, you can just use the colors of Interia, and that's fine. Even if you choose another one, it can be yellow, but he wanted to do so, I added it just for fun. But it's still huge, so I would skip that. I'm waiting for him. That's good for your back. So what happens if I look at the detail? So there's a refresh page, there is a eye, probably some information, there is a image and a lot of text. Still feels a little cluttered, so why do I have to have the refresh? Most of the Android users pull down to refresh, so we're going to skip that. We did some research on the eye, so what can I do? I can set notifications, and that's it. So why do I have a complete option when nobody actually using it a lot? So what I did is make the screen a little bit bigger, just the highlights, because people can still choose, no, this is not the right article. I can go back, and again, it adopts the material design stuff. So as you're Polish, the picture doesn't say anything about the article that's underneath, right? So I was in Italy, there was a Polish guy, he said, well, the picture's got nothing to do with the article. Oh, you're not laughing, so that's good. So, let's sum up, because I only have 15 minutes to go. This morning session, there's going to be a lot of sessions, so you're probably going to forget everything I have to say. So forget everything I have to say, just remember some nice quotes. Designers are nice people too. They actually know what they're doing. Talk to them. If you don't agree with them, have an open discussion. They might not know all the specs of a mobile application, but don't get into a struggle about technical implementation. Focus on the usability of your app. But they're nice people. Read the documentation. Again, it is well thought out. There are some cool patterns that iOS and Android have written down, and there's a whole philosophy behind those patterns. It's not there for just fun. There is a reason why they're there. And especially with Apple, they're so well documented. This one is from Mark. I added it beginning of this year. Make sure it does solve a problem. Don't be like the 1,001 app there's already out there. It's not going to be popular. You don't gonna hold your users. Try to solve a problem and people will stay. Be happy, and that's all the user experience is for. People making it pleasant and easy to use. And this is mine. So basically, you know what you make for whom and with what. And again, it sounds easy. It's not like marketing stuff. Doesn't have to be difficult. But you need to know what you're actually building and for who. And you need to know your tools, your documentation, what's out there. If you do that, everything is fine. So that's it. Oh, wait, I practiced my Polish. Dziękuję? Yes. So, and Also, I don't know if you noticed, but on the door at the movie theater, there is no taking pictures sign. So if you want to if you feel rebellion, now's a good time to make photos. Any questions, or do you want to see the guy and girl with the microphone just see run? No picture? No, yeah, questions, where's the mic?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you stand up, because the light is really terrible. Hi.
Hello. Okay, I have one question. Great talk, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, you are talking about how to improve UX and so on, but there's one problem. There is a business, and what we as a developers can do when business has their own vision, and how to, I don't know, force some.
Okay. Good question. I don't see business as a problem. I see the business as a person or a group that I need to convince. For me, it's easy. I'm the expert, so they're not the expert on building apps. They're expert in fiddling with money. So they need to explain, you need to explain, the team needs to explain why or why is there a feature or a different approach to making apps. You are the expert. And it sounds like, oh yeah, but they're so convincing. Then I have one word for you. Just say no. Just say no. Just say no. It's your name on the line. And I don't want to get you fired, but again, you are the expert. You know this shit. Business is a completely set of different people, skills, and like foreign objects. They're really good at what they do. But they're not making apps. You make apps. You make design. Convince them. Or call me and I convince them. I also do mixed martial arts, by the way. That does help. But for me it's easy. I'm the expert. I know what I'm talking about. If they don't trust me, fine. Will not work for them. Or at least cover them with examples or numbers which they can understand. It's a fake answer. It's a fake answer, but vague. Any other questions? No? So what would be a good beer to try tonight? Crowded beer? Craft beer. Well, I'm more whiskey fan, and I know they have some. The whiskey is also really cheap here. So if you see me dead tomorrow, you know why. Okay, well, thank you, enjoy. And if you have any questions, I will be around.